Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Not Too Comic Book. This being a show, we're talking about TV shows that are adaptations of comic books. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about The Shy Hero and the Assassin Princesses, Season 1, Episode 8. Great episode. A lot of really interesting things went down in this episode, so let's break it down. So picking up immediately where last episode left off, we had Anemone fire her shot. Is this the first episode we've fully seen her, summon her weapons? She probably done it before, but I feel like I've never seen her do that before. Once again, she's in her Noctis bag. Noctis is the first thing that immediately comes to mind, because obviously, he has so many different weapons he can end up using, and they can appear and disappear. It's him and the crew. Gladio, Prompto and Ignis all kind of operate in that same capacity too. But it's just her just being able to pop up the weapons. And I guess I just assumed it'd be guns, but obviously she can also summon up a Sai as well. We see that later on. And so either way, she takes her sniper shot at Goa and Seal, but Seal blocks it. And I think it's so interesting that Seal's immediate thought was, well, either she's been hypnotized or she's decided to kill both of us to finally get us out of the way so she can go after Toto by herself. Which the fact is that that's even a possibility, which, to be fair, and Goa didn't give much pushback against that either, because it's it is in the realm of possibility considering Anemone's personality. But up until this point, they've threatened to do that, but they haven't actively tried to hurt each other in a while. So, but and I'm sure Seal probably was nah, she's most likely hypnotized. She went to go prove it herself when she shows up at the castle, and it's oh, how do you feel about the hero? She's oh, I love the hero. And it's yeah, even if she was playing, she would never be able to bring herself to go that far. But I love the little showdown between them where it's she's got these demon heads she summons and throws at her, and Anemone's like dual wielding pistols shooting them and stuff like that, and the two of them cross paths battle wise. But then we get to the minister showing up, and Seal thinks that she killed the minister. Because I was like, there's no way it's going to be that easy, so the real big bad's going to pop up. But then it turns out, the minister was the big bad after all, but it was a disguise. Because I'd say last episode, I was because I caught a glimpse of this episode's title, and it was The Witch. And I was oh, so someone is behind him in all this. But it turns out he wasn't a real person. That was just her disguise. And so, turns out she's a fiend, because when she's initially popping up, I'm oh, she should know who Seal is, which she does, but she's a fiend, which are different than demons, which I think is kind of an interesting thing. And the fiends don't fall in line to it makes sense. He's the demon king, which begs the question, there must be a fiend king, right? Be interesting if it was there's a demon king, but there's a fiend queen type of thing. It'd be interesting if that ends up being the dynamic. Maybe not. We don't really get into that. We only know that what's her name? Yuria, it's I've never much really cared for your father, so I'm not going to fall in line just because you're the princess. To be fair, we've seen that even her being a princess, the daughter of the demon king, doesn't stop other demons for bad mouthing her and ridiculing her behind her back. You would think if they really respected the crown, they wouldn't do that, but they don't see her as but that doesn't mean anything, because they might front face themselves as loyal people, but then whisper and yada 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 behind her back, so whatever the case may be. Sadly, Seal gets put under Yuria's spell, and at that moment, the crystal ball breaks, so Goa knows what's happening. And before Seal left, she's right, if anything happens to the crystal ball, something happened to me. But she's yeah, I'm gonna go deal with Anemone, and then I'm also gonna kill the minister behind all this and kind of end it all. But I can't remember that last line. She said something very obviously sweet and sentimental to Goa right before she left. I don't remember what it was exactly. But obviously this inspired Goa to be all right. She's I'm done being in this town. Because she was oh, it was fun while it lasted. But now it's no more fun. It's now it's gotten to the point that it's no longer fun. Because for her, it's the only one that gets to control my friends are me. we've kind of been down that territory before. Like, she doesn't want anyone, like, she enjoys hanging with them because it's like, this is all fun to her. And it's like, no one's going to take her fun away from her, the people she gets to, like, puppeteer and control a bit. And so she ends up storming the castle on her own. At the same time, Todo he ends up helping all the prisoners escape, but then he goes to try and deal with the minister and then finds Anemone and Seal under her control. And it's like, right, he has resistance to her hypnosis, but she is able to paralyze him. And I wonder if given enough time, could she ever bring him under her control? I brought it up previously. I brought up, once again, without regurgitating history and, without once again spoiling it if you haven't heard it, I made parallels between Todo and the main protagonist of Dragon Quest VIII. Once again, I spoiled it last time, but like, without spoiling it this time, if you're familiar with his circumstances, I had said, like, I'm curious if Todo's in a similar situation, but yeah, he is paralyzed, and it's like, sicking Seal and Anemone on him, and they're grabbing on him, and obviously, like, he's built up quite the resistance, so he's trying to fight, like, this is not the situation you want to faint in, but luckily Goa comes to save the day, and she calls out Yuria because it's like, oh, your hypnosis is like garbage. The fact is, like, you're not really good at this. And Yuria sends them at her because she's like, oh, like, the hero is mine. And they're both like, no, the hero's mine. No, the hero's mine. And they attack her. And she pulls out her whip. And all it took was one smack. And they all kneeled. It's like, what did she, like... I mean, her natural skill is to make people submit, sure. But I'm like, there was something that popped up first on screen, and then we cut to her like with the whip and then bowing. And for Yuria, it's like, wait, she was able to overwrite my hypnosis. She even says, like, doing that is dangerous because the person who you're overriding the hypnosis for, it could basically destroy that person's mind. They could be lost forever. She's like, she's willing to do that to her friends. It's probably also because Goa did it because she was certain, because she's probably like, your hypnosis is so garbage, I can overwrite yours without having to be concerned about it affecting their minds negatively. Because she doesn't want anything. She likes them exactly the way they are. She doesn't want to change their personalities or anything. It's like, I like our dynamic and I don't want to change anything. I want to sit back, throw in a little bit of chaos every once in a while to kind of get things riled up. But I love this little hodgepodge misfit crew. It's so much fun. And then you have the witch, Yuria, like, attacking Todo over and over again, but even with every attack she sends his way, it doesn't do anything. It's like, oh, she does it again. She sends out these little things that shoot, kind of put him through a little bit of a bullet hell, like shooting him rapidly, and then nothing happens. He's like, oh, did you miss? Even I'm like, yo, what's going on there? Like, what is up with Todo's ridiculous defense? Like, obviously it can be lowered. We've seen it happen in the past, but like, why is his natural and even he's kind of shocked by it. Like, I think there's a part of him that doesn't realize like how crazy it is, how crazy strong he is, and how crazy his defense is. So I'm like, maybe there's extenuating circumstances to himself that even like maybe there's some secret like hidden power that even Todo is not aware of, is like actively protecting him, or like it's part of his constitution that he just doesn't realize, like, because he doesn't think it's anything special. Because for him to be like, oh, did you miss? It's like, no, she hit you multiple times, but it did absolutely nothing. You haven't also realized, because you're oblivious to the fact is the trio of heroines have been trying to kill you, and none of them been able to do any extensive damage. Like I said, until Seal like lowered your defense drastically, and then it still took two swings of that scythe. Well, it would have taken two swings of that scythe to kill him, She was able to decently damage him, but it wasn't like a grave injury. So it's like, what's up with that? And so Yuria's like, you know what, screw it. She transforms into this monstrous form, kind of goes full Lady Dimitrescu from Resident. It's like, oh, there's a lot of parallel between Lady Dimitrescu and her daughters and Yuria to some extent. Not quite, but I mean, especially because she turns into like almost like this dragon-esque beast thing. Now I'm sitting here thinking about like, oh yeah, like her monster form in Resident Evil 8 is like very similar to that thing you fight in Final Fantasy X before you get to Xanarkand. I never put those things together in my head. Either way, I'm going on a tangent. I do apologize. But yeah, like in that moment, Toto charges forward and he punches her once. I was like, that's crazy. What you up here being you Saitama or something? Like, what's going on here? I'm keeping that also fresh in my head because I plan on starting One Punch Man at some point in time, so I got that like fresh in my head too. I mean, to be fair, it's like, obviously by the same mangaka, but like, Mob was like that for some fights, not all fights, but some fights were like pretty easily dealt with. Mob, as in Shigeo, sorry, the main protagonist, Mob Psycho 100. But the fact is that was done effortlessly, and then even she's still alive, and she's like, he beat me in my... She's like, what's going on? Like, how did he do that with one hit? And she's trying to crawl away, but Goa caught her, and she was like, please, let me live. I'll be your pet. And Goa's like, my pet? She's like, you're not fun enough to be my pet, and then kills her. And the others are completely unaware of it, though. So it's like, once again, it's like so interesting. Like, we already knew there was a little bit of a scary side to Goa, but they've had like so much fun, and she also hides it with her like bubbly personality, but it's like, oh, there's some really interesting, like when she can get deadly serious from time. So luckily everyone has been freed. Tim is reunited with his parents, luckily, and it's beautiful and it's nice. And I love that Anemone and Seal try to pretend like they don't remember what happened. They're like, oh my god, that hypnosis, I don't remember what happened under that. And it's like, oh, you really don't? That's crazy. Like, nope, not at all. And then go up poking the bear. It's like, oh my god, you don't remember, Seal, how you called the hero your husband? It's like, I didn't call him husband, I called him mine. It's like, oops, you slipped up and admitted that you remember. And she's teasing him, and Anemone's like, no, I don't want to remember. And for Toto, he's just kind of happy everything worked out. He says this interesting line where he's like, I did good this time, like, right? So he talked about it, what had to be like episode 3, maybe? I think it was like the part of the episode when he's with Anemone alone. Like, he kind of talks about, like, yeah, he lost a lot in his past. Because I think the conversation about the scar on his face kind of came up too, but it's like, he kind of implies like he that's why he wants to be this big hero, because I think when he feels like he failed the time he was supposed to be a hero, maybe that was something when he was fairly younger and he grew up to be a hero, so that never happened again, or maybe he already was a hero but he failed one time. So it feels like why he's so adamant and like, I want to protect everyone, is because he's making up for the past where he felt like he didn't. Because he kind of, I think he even, like, it's been a couple weeks, so I could be misremembering, but I think he said, like, his family and everything, like, his home and his family are all gone, if I remember correctly. He explained that in Anemone, so I feel like this is kind of, like, built off of that, like mentality of, like, what he's lost and why he's so adamant about protecting everything. Especially those he considered close to him, which includes our 3 heroines, but also just being a hero to those in need. Like, they end up staying around town, end up celebrating with the town, and now it's a conversation about, well, where do we go next? There's one place that Toto points out, but then it was, I believe, Goa that was like, oh, we should go to this place. It's like a fishing village, which Seal's so happy about. It's like, oh, does she love fishing? It's like, no, it's more so about like having fun. But it's like, yeah, it's so funny that one aspect of the episode, like, yeah, that stuck with her. Now she enjoys fishing because it is so fun. So that's such an interesting little thing of like that carried over for her. But yeah, but as they were like leaving, Toto was thankful to Goa, and it's like, oh, for what? It's like, yeah, it's almost like, he's like, it's almost like you overrode her hypnosis. And it's like, wait, did you see me pull? He's like, oh yeah, the whip and everything. He's like, yeah, and Anemone ended up being crazy fast, and Seal ended up making it to the castle on her own pretty quickly. And it's like, oh, he's like, what actually are your skills? And they're like, grab him and hug him and, make him faint. And he does. So despite all his resistancing, the last episode trying to keep himself away, it all kind of like, because he was able to hold off like 1 at a time, but and he was able to hold off to 2, but 3 was just too much, especially because they immediately caught him off guard too, so he wasn't as prepared and ready. And to be fair, he's probably been at its limit for a while, and this was just the thing that kind of finally ticked him over to like finally faint after all the time. So it's, even though he got better at it, it's still, a tool they have in their bag. So it's like, cool, what do we do to explain to him, like, to get him off our backs about this? It's like, well, I think it was maybe Seal or Goa was suggesting like the whole wiping his memory thing, but then Anemone was like, oh my god, wipe my memory too. Please give whatever it is you're going to give it to him. Like, give it to me so I can forget all of this, all the like cringy, like lovey-dovey stuff I said. So, another adventure dealt with. It's going to be interesting to see what the next episode entails for us. What other shenanigans our protagonists are going to find themselves in. And I'm also curious, like, how long are they going to be able to keep this front up? You know, yes, Toto's not the smartest, but he might also be picking up stuff that they're not realizing. He also doesn't want to question him because he does trust them wholeheartedly. So for him, it's like, if I question you guys too much, it's going to be about, like, it's almost like I'm doubting you. And it's like, no, I trust you guys wholeheartedly. I'm here to protect you, but I also know you guys have my back. You've proven that time and time again. I think also, like, if they ever, like, showed their real skills and stuff or, like, honest about their circumstances, at least to some degree, I don't think Toto would judge them, like, as much as they think. He'd accept them in a way that no one else does, and I think that will be so meaningful for them. But, we'll see if anything of that sort happens in the near future or not. But really, that's all I wanted to talk about. So the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.